Yo, what's good everyone? This is Ayo Boxing from Adiba, and we're here to talk about if Jermell Charlo is ducking Tszyu. As we all know, Jermell Charlo will be fighting Canelo Alvarez this September. This was a shocker to the boxing world because everyone thought that Jermell was fighting Canelo, but as of right now, there's no news of a catch weight, so Jermell will be jumping up 2 weight classes to fight Canelo at 168. A lot of mixed reactions. Some people think it's a great fight, while others think it's a cherry pick and unnecessary. But Tszyu thinks that Jermell is ducking him, and this narrative is prevalent among the Australian boxing fans. The reason why is because Tszyu has been Jermell's WBO mandatory for a long time, but he has yet to fight him, despite the fact they should have fought already. But can we really call Jermell a duck for wanting to fight Canelo instead? Well, it's all about perspective. From Jermell's perspective, you can't call this a duck. By all boxing metrics, Canelo is a tougher fight than Tszyu. Canelo is naturally bigger, Canelo is a better and more accomplished fighter than Tszyu, and Canelo is a top 5 pound-for-pound boxer. Canelo is a certified legacy fight, and Jermell would be the underdog. If Jermell beats Canelo, then that would make him a first ballot Hall of Famer and probably pound-for-pound number 1. Without a question, this is a harder fight for Jermell. Anyone who tries to question that is dishonest and dumb. Furthermore, Jermell has been very consistent on wanting to fight Canelo. He's been saying this for years, with the latest being after the John Ryder fight. But most people didn't take him seriously because of the weight class differences. So, even though this fight announcement came out of nowhere, ultimately, it's not surprising that Jermell took this fight. He's a fighter that's big on legacy and challenging himself, and him taking on this fight is consistent with that character. However, from Tszyu's perspective, it's understandable why he thinks Charlo is ducking him. I'm pretty certain that Tszyu has been Charlo's mandatory since 2021, but was willing to step aside for Charlo to become undisputed. They were originally supposed to fight January of this year, but Charlo suffered a hand injury, therefore postponing the fight. And this is the origin of the narrative that Charlo is ducking Tszyu, but at the time, the narrative was small. Instead of waiting around, Tszyu would fight Tony Harrison in March and would completely dominate Harrison. He beat the shit out of him, which would surprise many and even Charlo, who was on the broadcast for the fight. And this is where the narrative that Charlo was ducking Tszyu really started to grow strong because it was expected for Charlo to fight Tszyu after the Harrison fight, sometime in June or July, but the fight was postponed again because Charlo was still dealing with hand injuries. Because of this, many Tszyu fans suspected that Charlo was faking the injury and was not confident after seeing what Tszyu did to Harrison. Because Tszyu really destroyed Harrison and he's improving in front of everybody. Keep in mind that Harrison is the only man to beat Charlo, so the accusations of ducking have increased. They even got stronger after Tszyu KO'd Ocampo in the first round, but the announcement of Charlo fighting Canelo would take this narrative to a new height. The main argument behind this narrative is that Charlo has less to lose fighting Canelo compared to Tszyu. Fighting Canelo means the biggest payday of Charlo's career, and he'll keep the undisputed belts at 154 if he loses to Canelo. However, if he fights Tszyu, the payday will be less, and if he loses to Tszyu, that means he loses all his belts. Therefore, he wouldn't be undisputed, which means his biggest accomplishment in boxing would be taken away. Charlo will most likely fight again in 2024. Therefore, the likelihood of Tszyu taking a loss or having an unfortunate event that may derail his title ambitions at 154 are going to increase. Tszyu is forced yet again to wait for Charlo, and it sucks. He's probably frustrated, but it is what it is. In my opinion, I don't think Charlo is ducking Canelo. Taking on a harder fight should never be considered a duck, but Tszyu definitely has his grievances and I understand where he's coming from. But I'm more excited to see Canelo versus Charlo rather than Tszyu, even though I wanted to see that fight as well. But who knows, this is boxing, anything can happen. But thank you for tuning in with Ayo Boxing from Adiba. Hit like and subscribe, and more content's coming your way.